So I warn her, right, that you're gonna be here this morning. And so, right, she's all done. I mean, she's probably like this most of the time anyway, but she's just like totally dialed in, like everything's good. And she's like ready, right? Like 6 months from now, she's gonna walk in and she's gonna be like, and just, you know what? I needed you this morning so bad, so bad. We're at Nikki's this morning. So Nikki was in there and she's kind of like saying a couple things. She goes, I did tell him that, or tell her that you're a little bit much. And by the way, hey, wait a minute. Hey, what did Nikki say about you?
She called me a diva.
This is like really awkward. So, like, when you see that, like, did you have any thoughts? No. Whether he was here or not, like, this is really one thing that, like, I want to continue to develop, because I want just to be in a place where through your own experience previous and then us just working together over time, you just to be able to, hey, what about this? You have an unbelievable gift that you don't realize, you personally, and it's this. She gets to objectively talk about somebody else's sales problem. Because think about this, though the general approach to selling is the same, the way that you attack that industry itself, totally unique. Why that's such a huge benefit is because when people are selling in a specific industry, especially for a long period of time, they get stuck in the rut of doing the same thing that they've always done and the excuses as to why it doesn't work. I used to have a lot of people say to me, well, you don't have experience in our industry, so like, how are you gonna? And I would say, actually, that's to my benefit, and that's to your benefit, because I'm just gonna be objective. And we still get to be way more objective anyway, because I am not emotionally in their sales conversation. Like, I can just be black and white. Here's what works, here's what doesn't. Whereas they are like, they have to fight against the fear of failure. They have to fight against the personality of the person on the other end of the call or the table or whatever. We get to bring that to the table. And so I think that the more that you're comfortable with speaking your mind, I think the more you're gonna realize like how much you have to offer in those pieces. Bro, I could drink 37 beers. And then one time we saw the best one was somebody had cellophane wrapped pieces of pizza in a necklace. And it's hanging down, there was probably 4 or 5 triangle slices of pizza cellophaned in this necklace. I'm like, what is going on? But I totally get it. You gotta keep the palate cleansed because some of those beers bite hard and you wanna taste the next thing. And the other thing is, you need to keep some fuel in you.
Well, yeah, you should write a little ebook on how to survive a beer festival.
You know what? I have no expertise whatsoever, but I could probably do that and make at least $7.
You know what?
I, unfortunately, for myself, tend to be more helpful than push for, no, you're gonna have to pay me for this stuff. Whereas most coaches in an environment like this would just say, yep, absolutely, $500 and we'll set up a call. And there's nothing wrong with that, because if they were a one-on-one client, that's about the rate they would be paying. I've said this quote so many times now, but C.S. Lewis says, it's not your business to succeed, but to do what is right. When you have done so, the rest lies with God. And so far, while I have been burned so many times by people like, hey, just give me an hour, like, when the time is right, then I'll come back to you. And I'm like, whatever, I'll just help you out. Like, most of those do not come back. And I get used for time so much, it's just absolutely ridiculous. But in the long game, doing the right thing always pays off. Like when I was talking to you about like that conversation with that VP of sales, originally started because that one sales manager found me through LinkedIn, followed me for 6 months, and felt like our values aligned. And that's why he wanted to have a conversation in the first place. It's all because I just did what I felt was the right thing to do, which was not even sell him in the first place. It was just be on LinkedIn, trying to help people, trying to encourage and support people. When I was early in my sales career, I couldn't do that because I didn't have any sense of credibility built up with people to expect that something would come back at some point. Now I can afford to play the long game more regularly. I just feel like the long game is far more worth it. And something that I've been working on a lot of people with is long-term vision. That's going to be the next challenge, actually. So I'm just kind of prodding into the community, the Be Authentic community, to do another challenge for the month of May. And it's going to be around creating a long-term vision. So mine is 50. Because I know what I want there, I'm willing to put off right now for what 7 years is going to be like. She reached out to me and said, hey, I'm possibly just exploring other options long-term in life, right? Just career-wise. And so would love to just talk. And did you really, was there a possibility? Like, did you think like maybe we would work together, or no, you were really just looking only at?
I was hopeful.
Okay.
I was open to it, but I was not like expecting it. The people that like my family, people that I would talk to would be like, you're at a great job, why would you leave it? And I just felt like I needed someone that was like gonna listen to me and hear my like why I was looking for a new job. And I don't know, I felt like that was him. I don't know.
We hadn't ever really had that serious of a conversation. Not that that was like super serious, but like those are the things that mean the most to me. She either trusted me or believed in what I was saying just in general enough to, you know, to reach out like that was super cool. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking like, this would be amazing if this could all work out now. When I think about the person that I want to do business with long term, I don't want somebody that just runs errands for me or that just assists my whatever. Like I want somebody that's gonna take charge and lead and in their own way, whatever their gifting it is, you know, whatever that is. So I think that's what was really important to me. And I heard that. I think that was super, you know, that was just a really good confirming thing for me. So yeah, then I just decided like, hey, what do you think about? And it kind of worked out. Hold on. And I hear somebody running down the street and I look out and it's not only her running at like just before 6 o'clock in the morning, cold, wet, but she's in like a tank top and shorts. And I'm like, that's it. She is so crazy. And so then, and this is right before we were working together. And so then I think I saw Tyler that day in the gym. I'm like, dude, Shannon's gangster. Like, there's no way I would get up and run at 5 something in the morning anyway. And I don't hate running. I just don't like it like that. But then the fact that it's raining and she's like all happy about it.
I'm very strong mentally, I feel like. Like when I write it down, when I tell myself I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it.
See?
There's so many times when like I'll write 5 rounds and I'll be like, oh, 4 is good. Like I'll be like at 3 and I'll be like, 4 is good. And I'm like, no, I wrote it, I'm gonna do it. So.
Take that. See again, look it. All so well manicured, put together, inside. There is a gangster in there. Like it's gonna come out in nasty ways. You cross us, Ian? She's gonna be on you, not me.